day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today I'm revealing my wife's stock market portfolio. Now, she doesn't know I'm doing this video, so please don't tell her. She'll kick my ass, so don't tell her. So anyways, we're going to reveal her portfolio. I'm going to share with you guys the stocks she owns. She owns 4 stocks. So I'm going to share with you guys the 4 stocks she owns, and maybe they're good investments, maybe they're not. We'll see over time. Couple things you got to understand about my wife as far as investing in the stock market. People think I'm cool as far as stocks go, as far as like, I don't get too emotional about them, unless it's like a stock market analyst and I get freaking pissed, all right? But as far as like, I don't get too emotional as far as if a stock goes down a lot, up a lot, I'm kind of even cool. She's like way cooler than me. Like if a stock goes down, she's like, oh, it'll come back. If a stock goes up a lot, it'll keep running. She's like so cool about it. Something else to understand about her is she goes with gut instinct. She's not basing things off of financials. She's not looking at financial metrics and PE ratios and debt versus cash on the balance sheet. She's not looking at those kinds of things. She's going just off of a gut feeling, thinking long-term about the business, and that's really it, guys. So we're going to look at some of these and we'll see, guys. So let's rank them from the number 1 biggest investment down to her smallest investment, which will be number 4. So her biggest investment by far is Wynn Resorts. Wynn Resorts is a stock you guys know I love. It's consistently on the 3 stocks I'm buying now video. It's always one of my favorite stocks out there. It's her biggest investment by far, and I wish it was my biggest investment, by the way. But the interesting thing that Wynn does for her is, one, Wynn appreciates over time, generally speaking. Sometimes it goes down, but most of the time it goes up. And it's a stock that's generally going to keep going up over the next 2-3 decades, whatever, into the future. But what it does for her is it pays dividends, which allows her to take that dividend money, because that's her number 1 investment, and put that money into other stocks. So she gets that money every 3 months, then goes ahead and buys some more stocks that hopefully either go up or pay her more dividends. And then she gets to buy even more stocks. So she gets to kind of compound money. Now, Wynn right now pays 50 cents per share. And I'm not going to disclose how much money she has in Wynn shares and things like that, because there's none of your freaking business. But she owns a decent amount of Wynn shares. So she gets 50 cents per Wynn share every 3 months. So that's an important thing. Now with Wynn, as we look at this chart here, Wynn it pays 50 cents right now, and that's mainly because they had to put a lot of money into the Wynn Palace. That was a project that cost over $4 billion, so they cut their dividend way down to basically maximize that project. But what's going to probably happen in 2018 moving forward, those sick dividends are probably going to come back with Wynn Resorts, because they're not going to have a ton of money to funnel into other projects, and they're going to have a massive amount of profits coming from Wynn Palace and the other properties, being that hopefully the economy is just as strong as it is now, if not stronger at that point. And you look at some of these past dividends. In 2015, they were paying $1.50 a quarter. You had $2.50, $1.25. Back in 2013, they paid a $3 dividend. They were consistently paying $1 per quarter. So her with Wynn Resorts, she should do good as far as the equity going up over time, correct? But what she should really do good at is the dividend should get stronger and stronger as time goes on, and the company's expected to probably do between 50 and 75% more profit in 2017 than versus last year in 2016, guys. And that's barring that the economy stays strong. And Macau is coming back stronger and stronger. The February numbers were absolutely fabulous. So she's in a position where she's going to keep having dividend money probably coming in, and more dividend money over time that she's going to be able to funnel into other stocks. So it's a pretty interesting tactic there, and maybe it's smart having a dividend stock like Wynn, because when times are good with Wynn, he pays ridiculous dividends. You can go back further in time, like 2012, I think they paid a $4 or $8 dividend. Like ridiculous amounts. You could go back through, go to Yahoo Finance, go to dividends only, look at Wynn Resorts dividends over the last 10 years or whatnot. Sometimes Steve Wynn, and he kind of controls the company, he'll announce a dividend of $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, guys. It's ridiculous. So that's a great thing. Her number 2 biggest investment is Snapchat. She just bought Snapchat last week on the open. So basically with Snapchat, she believes that Snapchat is a great service. She uses it. She believes it's one of the biggest social media platforms in the future. It already is kind of now, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's her philosophy around Snapchat. And some things I think, and I did a full in-depth video on Snapchat last week, so we're not going to go into this one very heavy. But as far as Snapchat, I saw something interesting today. On Thursday, Facebook announced the global launch of its third Snapchat clone dubbed Messenger Day. Users will now be able to post annotated pictures and videos within the Messenger app on iOS and Android that disappear after 24 hours, which basically is the same way Snapchat Stories platform works. So Facebook is trying to copy Snapchat left and right, guys. It's the third time they try to copy them. Now, the way I view this, right? It's a competitive threat, absolutely. Facebook's trying to compete with them. But at the same time, doesn't mean Facebook's gonna be successful at these implementations, or Facebook's gonna end Snapchat or anything like that, or by Facebook doing this, it would slow down Snapchat. It does not mean that, guys. It's the same philosophy. If you think Facebook is just gonna end Snapchat or gonna take all this market share from Snapchat, it's the same philosophy someone could have had about Google maybe taking market share from Facebook, right? Because Google came out with Google Plus, and maybe that could be like the Facebook killer, and Google Plus was an absolute flop. And mind you, that was made by Google, one of the best companies, if not the best run company in all of the world. You can make an argument that Google's the best run company in the world. And they failed at trying to take away Facebook, basically, with their Google Plus whole deal. So I look at this and I'm like, is it a competitive threat? Yes, but at the same time, it's more of a compliment on that Snapchat's absolutely the future. And when the things that Snapchat's doing, everybody wants to copy, guys. And that doesn't mean anybody's going to be successful at copying these kind of things. So that's something interesting just to pay attention to. And I don't think I really mentioned that in the full breakdown video I did on Snapchat, that, yeah, people are trying to compete with them, but that's a compliment in the end. And it just could end up building out Snapchat's platform bigger and bigger over time. So the number 3 stock she owns is a company called e.l.f. Beauty. This is a cosmetics company. She got in this one as IPO. She must be an IPO investor or something. She got in on the IPO. It's up around 7% since the IPO happened back in September. It was actually a position that was down up until today when the stock popped a lot on the earnings, which we'll look at here. It's a cosmetics company that is growing very nicely. Company did revenues of $76.4 million last quarter, surpassing consensus estimates of $74 million. So they beat pretty easily and increasing 17% year over year thanks to sales growth across leading national retailers of e.l.f.'s direct business. Gross margins, I love gross margins. Gross margins expanded to 59%, guys, from 54%. That's huge compared to the fourth quarter of 2015. Looking ahead, e.l.f. Beauty expects net sales to range from $285 million to $295 million for full year 2017. Adjusted net income in the range of $21 million to $23 million. So very impressive numbers by e.l.f. here. e.l.f. is a company right now that's building revenues. They're very revenue focused because that's where the growth is. They're growing. I mean, we see 17% in the last quarter. So they're building the brand right now. They're building the revenue right now. The profits will come eventually. They're still profitable right now, which is great. But at the same time, they're not nearly as profitable as they can be in the future when they start they're spending a lot of money on expanding and expanding and expanding. Same way, someone like an Amazon spending. If Amazon cut down all their expenses, they'd be so much more profitable. If Google cut down on this, Google's spending like $5 billion a year on stuff that is giving them basically no return on investment right now. If Google stopped doing that, they would have basically $5 billion more on that net income line. So this is a company that's focused on growing those revenues right now, and the profits will come later, the big profits, but they're still profitable now, so that's a good thing. And her bet on e.l.f. Beauty is basically they're just going to keep expanding, keep getting bigger, and expand into a huge beauty brand. Something else I saw interesting here, the company benefited from more than a 50% increase in shelf space at Target. That is pretty dang impressive there, guys. And Target is about 30% of e.l.f.'s revenue. So they went from, I think they were around 6 feet last year. Now they're talking about over 12 feet of space. So big retailers obviously want e.l.f.'s products and want them to be featured more and more. Expanding shelf space is something big in the retail game when you can because basically in retail, if you want your space to be expanded, that means someone else's products got to be displaced. It's not like a Target store just magically got 6 feet bigger for the for the e.l.f. products. No, that means somebody else's products are getting displaced, which means your products are hot. So this is something very big that e.l.f. is actually displacing somebody else and getting their space bigger, guys. So something very good there with e.l.f. And maybe that can grow into a cosmetics giant where they're doing $2, $3, $4 billion in revenue a year, 10 years, 15 years from now. We'll have to see how time plays out. I can tell you that there are cosmetics companies out there that are valued 5 to 10 times more than what e.l.f. is valued, guys. So something to take into account. Her last investment, number 4, is GoPro. I wonder who told her about GoPro. I don't know. But anyways, we're not even going to talk about GoPro because I talk about it like 80 million times a month. So there's no reason to talk about it again. But that's her 4th investment. So that's her portfolio. That's what she's looking at. She's got Wynn Resorts. She gets dividends. She funnels that money into other stocks. She's got Snapchat now, which, we'll see what happens with Snapchat over the coming years. It's going to be volatile. I can guarantee that stock will be volatile over the next year at least. And then we'll see what happens if it starts shooting up or starts shooting down. We'll see. We got e.l.f. Beauty as our 4th stock, and we got GoPro as e.l.f. Beauty as our 3rd stock, GoPro as our 4th stock. So that's her portfolio. She owns 4 stocks, and that's all them in order, guys. I hope you enjoyed this today. Hit a thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment if you own any of these stocks. I would love to hear from you guys, and I would love to hear your opinion on our portfolio, if you like it, if you don't like it, those kinds of things. It is diversified. We got a resort company, we have a social media company, we have a cosmetics company, and we have an electronics company. So although she only owns 4 stocks, she is very diversified. We must acknowledge that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you just came across it, you may want to subscribe. We talk personal finance on the channel. We talk entrepreneurship. I'm an actual business owner. I give away so many business tips. We talk the stock market the most of anything on this channel, guys. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.